Hey there, what do you say there? Beautiful day there. And today we are going to get right back in to this beautiful book and take another look. It is the Pranic World book. So if you've been tuning in, there's a playlist for you if you haven't seen the introduction or the other chapters, and you can go back and see that. This is Pranic Pages with Jerome Shaw, host of the Open Palm podcast, motivator, meditator, coming at you with another pranic reading as we're proceeding. So this is from Christiana El Trayan, the Pranic World book. And right now we are on the section Pranic Detox Methods. So in a new section, heading down a new direction. People are very careful with the quality of gas and oil that they put in their cars. They never put diesel instead of gas, never water instead of oil. But when it comes to their bodies, they don't choose their fuel so carefully. How can you expect a body engine to run at its highest potential if you don't fuel it properly? That's a good question. It's a good question. Think about that for a second. You know, there's times that we take better care of our technology than we take care of our technology, right? This is some advanced technology, right? You're working with some high tech, right? And with this advanced technology, why wouldn't you put the fuel that would allow your technology to perform at the highest efficiency, to perform at the highest potential? Why wouldn't you put the fuel that is essential? It's a good question. As I've studied various ways of alignment to the pranic field, I am now summing up the main steps. 1. Physical body detox. The body is the recipient, the holder of prana, and it has to be clear and clean for it to be able to store energy and be nourished by it. The main detox methods that I've used are as per below. Getting rid of parasites. The colon and digestive system stores microorganisms that are not beneficial and that are literally eating off the energy, making you feel depleted or craving for toxic food that eventually creates residues that feed these microorganisms. To be able to hold prana in your body and lose the cravings, you need to send these microorganisms away. The procedure is simple and easy to do. It just implies taking some herbs or natural anti-parasite remedies from a natural food shop. Ask your local herb shops for the best solution for this. What I feel called to recommend is to also introduce some aloe vera in your diet along with it, as the aloe vera juice literally washes away and detoxes the body after these microorganisms are neutralized. I'll tell you more of this magic juice in a bit. Just know that it's been considered the immortals drink by the Egyptians and other ancient cultures, and for a good reason. So one of the detox methods that I would definitely suggest, there was the blessed herbs detox, and that was cleansing the colon. I've done colon cleanse, I've done liver cleanse, kidney cleanse. The colon cleanse and the kidney cleanse were definitely powerful. These are powerful cleanses, and things will come out of your body that you didn't even know were there, that you were just not aware. And some things can actually scare, you could look at it and be like, whoa. You can be a little bit frightened, but it also can make you more enlightened, because you're no longer tightened. You're no longer constricted or conflicted with these parasites, with these organisms. So kind of letting them be on their way, not letting them win the day, And that was another thing, the war on parasitic environments, understanding that I was actually harboring the breeding ground for these parasites to come around, to be found within me, and to have a feast in there, right? Developing so much that was stuck in my guts, feeling caught in a rut, stuck in the muck. But that was my doing, so that was my undoing. But realizing that if you got yourself here, then you can get yourself there. It just takes time and becoming more aware. Detoxing the digestive system and main organs. As you go through the first step, you might notice your mood improves and your health gets better. But still, there might be some deeper steps to do to have a clean, healthy body. You've surely heard of the benefits of juices and how the fruits have literally a detoxing role for the whole organism, but knowing the right ones to include in your juice can also triple the effect. Now, I love juices. I still drink juices today. I'm not fully on the wind and the air and all that is there, right? But I do juice and I do drink liquids. And I feel like there's power in just juicing, just being on liquid alone and, not being in the doing of chewing. When you're not chewing, when you're not in that primal nature, that carnal nature, a lot of things can take place, allowing yourself to embrace your body in new ways. So to a certain degree, it pays to be able to stay within that, the liquid state. And I do feel that the body itself is already healing. The moment that we stop putting in, the body starts putting out. It starts releasing the things that no longer need to be, It starts letting go and letting flow what needs to be on its way already, without us having any say. So there's really nothing that you have to do to usher along or to really help the body. But it can help you mentally and it can help you emotionally to do something that is less taxing, So living a liquid lifestyle is more relaxing, one might say, than going straight into being fully dry that way. Feel free to use large amounts of citrus juices and all those that contain vitamin C. Also include pineapple. I love pineapple. That's my favorite. Beetroot and so on. And add ginger. Ooh, anything with ginger. I love it. To almost everything if you fancy the taste, as it's great for digestive cleansing and much more. Aloe vera, the magic juice I was mentioning earlier, also has fabulous effects, and I personally use it like a nutrient nowadays because it has a bunch of energy, and to me, it's literally the sun force condensed in a leaf. But on top of that, it also has a strong effect of detoxing the liver and kidneys, the main filters of the body, plus an overall anti-parasite and anti-fungi effect. Make sure you include it in your daily diet, mix it with other juices, or drink it pure if you like the taste. And that's another thing, there wasn't really a certain juice that I felt like I should embrace. I really just would gravitate to the ones that I enjoy the taste, And if I enjoy the taste, then there's nothing to waste, So that's pretty much what my lifestyle is based on, the liquid with which that I enjoy the taste. So people ask you, Do you drink this type of liquid? Do you drink that type of liquid? Oh, why don't you drink water? Why do you like coconut water? Why not alkaline water? Why not natural spring water? Why not this bottled water? Why not that bottled water? I just like coconut water. You know, I enjoy the taste. So since I enjoy the taste, that's what I embrace. You know, there's nothing to chase, right? Turmeric is also very beneficial if you have an excess of acidity or overall inflammation in the body, as this condition does not allow prana to flow freely. The body must first go back to an alkaline state and relax fully on the inside to be able to align. And there's definitely much to be said about relaxation. You know, relaxation brings a higher vibration, I would say. You know, they say stress kills, right? Stress kills. Turmeric is also called the golden powder for a reason. Not only it reverses all inflammatory processes and alkalinizes, I like that, alkalinizes the body, but it also has a strong detox effect. Included in your diet with caution. It might work wonders for your general detox and bring a new vibe to your body. Golden milk, a mix of vegetable milk and turmeric, is renowned for its positive detox and energizing effects, used in Ayurvedic medicine since ancient times. Now, I remember they were serving up golden milk at the Pranic World Festival in Italy. Shout out to the chefs in the kitchen. That golden milk was on point. Watermelon. For most, it might have been neglected or thought of as just a fruit, but its effects are magical for kidneys, digestive system, and overall energy levels. What that song was, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high. Make sure you also include the seeds and enjoy gallons of it through your juicing detox process. Just don't combine it too much with other fruits, as it works best when served alone. You know, we have a friend, her name is Julia, and her Instagram is @EatLikeIt. She lives in Switzerland. I had an opportunity to go out and visit her. Shout out to Julia. She went on a whole watermelon feast. I can't even call it a watermelon fast. She feasted on watermelon for months. I mean, I don't know how many days and weeks she was just having watermelon alone, nothing else. And she was glowing, you know, her energy was growing on just watermelon. Mono fruit diet, you know, so it can be done, you know, anything is possible. And she was loving every bit of it. You know, other people who were looking at her like, don't you get bored? You know, isn't it mundane to just be having the same, you know, kind of fruit every day? She was having her way, y'all, okay? She was having her say. It was amazing just to see that girl play with one fruit, mono fruit diet. So yeah, you know, it can be cool to just use it as a tool. Let go of the rules, right? There's many other detox methods that I might recommend, but once you focus on that, just ask that you find the best method and find your own path through it, as every human system is a complex, unique design. Very true. Very true. So everybody is different and every body is different. So just understand that. There's no one size fits all, right? But even the small affects the all. Just make sure you check your liver and gallbladder for stones. The liver ones are usually not visible at a regular hospital scan. And also detox your kidneys and the rest flows by itself. Detoxing the programs that bring parasites in your body. This might feel a little far-stretched to some, but those of you who know about mental and energy reprogramming and energy work in general know that any physical manifestation or ailment is the product of a mental and energetic programming. So it's like, as above, so below, right? As within, so without. The energetic and the mental affect the physical. Vice versa as well. Removing and replacing the programs that bring and maintain the parasites in the body ensures the overall extermination of them, and not just a temporary detox. In my work, I do this regularly, using the soul healing therapy, and the main mental programs that generate this are the victim mentalities. The view of the world as an enemy, and the savior behavior. I like that, the savior behavior. But there are many others that can bring to these physical results. So mental and energy detox go hand in hand with and stabilize the physical one. So we may focus on the physical, but don't just focus all on the physical. Realize that a lot of it can be mental and even energetic, you know? So that can be something that is also revealing on that spectrum. Understanding the energy has a big effect to the ways that we start to reflect. Emotional body detox. The emotional body is one of the main triggers for the excess of food. Emotional toxins accumulated keep you in a state of need. The feeling that you need something from the outside, and the first thing you head to is food. Usually, right? When we're dealing with our emotions, we even have words for it, right? We have terms called emotional eating. You know, when you're sad, you might want that bowl of ice cream, you know? And, you know, when you're nervous or frustrated, you might want those potato chips, right? When you're angry, you might want that alcohol, or, you know, there's so many things that are tied to our emotions. There were even times where I would use things as a reward. You know, when I was celebrating, when I was feeling good, I would run to certain types of consumption. So keeping an eye on our emotions, emotional toxins accumulated keep you in a state of need. Detoxing the emotional body is a deep work, as emotions are structured in layers. From the most obvious ones, the ones that are bursting out, to the most subtle ones, the ones that trigger unconscious behaviors and that are invisible for the common observer, usually accumulated in your system for lifetimes. Emotional body detox starts with awareness, the feeling of being aware of what you feel. Denying the emotion just because it makes you less spiritual is one of the most painful ways to treat your emotional body. And it's only going to bring trouble, because the stuck, denied emotions are pushed under the carpet and turned into subconscious wounds as they are neglected. That's a big one. So we understand that what we sweep under the rug will still continue to pull and tug at us until it is addressed. You know, until those emotions are expressed. We might continue to feel stressed. You know, we might continue to feel less when we do not express. So, step one is awareness and acknowledging how you feel. Yes, what you feel is real. So acknowledge your emotions, you know? That can be one of the potions, like an alchemical concoction, right? Sometimes that's the only option, right? Then step two is the cleansing and releasing of the emotional pattern. This can be done by various types of meditation, conscious visualization, etc. But the most efficient method I know is using the 6 healing sounds and the Taoist emotional intelligence technique. You know that Sam, So, E. There's different sounds that you can have that are very healing, where you see exactly which organ holds that emotion, and you can choose a sound and energy color for releasing it. It's an awesome method that I've learned from the Taoist master Mantak Chia. Shout out to Mantak Chia. And that I've practiced for the last 5 to 6 years, and also taught in various classes online and live. To help people with using this technique, we've also created the healing meditation for thyroid, communication, and creativity that guides through the structured work of energizing and cleansing each organ and endocrine gland, allowing you to bring new, fresh prana in your body and emotional system. For me, working with this technique has been a big step in the pranic journey, as it has helped me cleanse and ground my energy by daily focusing on my internal organs and systems, bringing more energy in the physical body. So these are great techniques, you know, for those of you who seek. They can be very unique, and they have a bit of mystique, right? But can take you to your peak. Also, one fabulous thing that has totally changed my emotional perception was the essential oils therapy, aromatherapy. I've used the essential oils for more than 4 years now on myself and with my patients. And the more I discover them, the more they fascinate me through their power of healing. Therapeutic grade natural oils are important, because one can find many versions in stores, not all of them coming from real plants. How to use them: I add them in my coconut oil and massage my body after the bath, add them in my bathtub, diffuse them in the room, also add them to my drinking water to harmonize from the inside out. Plants have a magic power of healing, and the right combination can have outstanding effect on the emotional body as well as on the physical. Plus, the self-massage in itself has outstanding effect in emotional healing, because you literally pour love in your cells through the palms of your hands. Wow. It's like doing your own Reiki, right? Your own energy. And self-massage was something that Elitam would do with us during our retreats. That was another technique that he would bring in. Just massaging yourself, you know. How well do you know your own body? How well have you felt your own self? You know, with the energy that is dealt, is it the energy that is felt? We might go to a masseuse, right? You go to a massage therapist, but you could be your own massage therapist. You could be your home massage therapist, right? You don't have to necessarily wait for another person to do what you could actually do for yourself, for your own emotional and physical health. If you add a pure grade essential oil to it, it increases the effect and works at a deeper level, allowing your cells to open, absorb the energy of it, and heal the emotional pattern that is stored there. I will continue to write about this detox and healing technique on my website. The cellular memory is cleansed with healing sounds. We recommend the Rafe frequencies used by L.K. Neher and the didgeridoo. That's a powerful instrument. That boy didgeridoo. But also other methods of sound healing, like crystal bowls, Tibetan gongs, or the daily routine of chanting mantras into your cells. I love that. You know, chanting into your cells. You know, everything that we say, everything that we speak, our body is listening. And our cells will start glistening when we start speaking life into our cells. That is the feeling that you start to have when you start to change your patterns of speech. You know? We know we are 80% water, so the power of chanting is obvious, according to Masaru Emoto's studies on the sound effect upon water, including the water in our bodies. So understanding that, of course, your body is made up of water, and when you understand through those experiments that not only can sound change the water, what we say can change the water. What we speak can change the water. Even the words that we put on the bottle could change the water. So you're changing the water within you. Deep emotional wounds are released with sound therapy, aromatherapy, and of course soul healing therapy that goes way beyond the emotional trauma of this lifetime, opening and searching into other lifetimes as well. Crystals are also efficient for emotional healing, but mastery is required, as the effects can be powerful. Another powerful practice is red tantra, but that of course requires deep awareness of what's coming out. Otherwise, you're going to blame your partner and the outside world, as it's way easier to look outside for the responsible in a situation. Mental body detox. Step 1. Detoxing the mental body is one of the subtlest works, and it as well has many layers. The first layer would be to acknowledge and observe the connection between the food you eat and the type of thoughts you have. By observing this connection, you'll be able to choose your food wiser in order to have better thoughts. And in our book, Get Seduced by Your Own Life, we explain in detail the connection between food and inner states, emotions, thought patterns. So you might want to check it out and go deeper into this ancient knowledge that has been studied and referred to by ancient yogis, Ayurvedic doctors, Chinese naturopaths, and so on. Lightening up the diet naturally brings a clearer, more sattvic nature of your thoughts. But that's just the first step. The second brain we have in the guts, right? You've heard of our gut intuition, right? Our gut guidance. The second brain is the logical scientific explanation for the food-thoughts connection. But there are other more subtle causes as well. For example, the fact that food is energy and essentially information, and depending on the information that you put in your body, you'll get a certain end result in your mind. And the other way around, of course. Of course. Of course. Right? This should be a whole course. This is a whole full course meal right here. Food is information. And information is food. Right? So what goes around comes around. What we put in must come out. What goes up must come down, right? There's laws, just like the law of gravity, there's laws. They say garbage in, garbage out, right? These things tend to come about. So what we put inside the mouth must somehow make its own way out. Right? Something to think about. Food is information. Information is food. So not just what we eat, not just what we drink. It's also what we see. It's also how we think. Right? The second step of mind detox is the awareness. Per your sources of information. Here we go now. TV or mainstream media. News is not keeping yourself informed. It's mind pollution, as the mainstream media only reports 5% of the reality, the negative, fear-based one. And I've always been under that belief, or maybe you might call it assumption, having the gumption that For every 10 things that we hear that are negative, I feel like there's 100 positive things that go below the radar, right? So many things that are good are happening in the neighborhood that we don't hear because they're not publicized, they're not televised. So they're not realized because they're not always shown. So they're not always known, you know? But we must realize that with real eyes, we see beyond the real lies of what we tune into eventually becomes what we turn into, right? Changing the programs, right? Changing the channel. We're channeling information. We're programmed to the station. We're tuning in. So that's what we're turning into. It's broadcasting, right? Casting a spell broadly. Giving an information is tuning your radio station by putting yourself into that paradigm. So taking the time to realign with another, you'll start to experience the other. So what is the mind pollution? And what is the mind solution? To be able to stay in touch with the other 95% of the reality and with the good news on what's happening on this planet, you have to keep your eye on reliable sources of information that feed your mind with the good, uplifting stuff that is going on. Otherwise, you're just going to think that this planet is a sad, unsafe place, and your mind is going to feed that back into your reality. You know, there's such thing they call the reticular activating system, the RAS. And it's becoming more and more apparent that what you focus on the longest tends to grow the strongest. If you ever have thought that you wanted to manifest a car or something into reality, and then all of a sudden you're on the highway and you see that specific car everywhere, you see it everywhere, right? It's very interesting how that works in our reality. When we focus on the good, we see more good. When we focus on the bad is all we see. So what you focus on the longest grows the strongest. If you realize that you have the power of your attention, you might start to place more intention on this invention, right? Because it is fast becoming an extension of yourself. It's one of the best things that you can do for your mental health, if I do say so myself. Positive news channels. We recommend the positive news page of the Embassy of Peace. Hey, shout out to Jasmine. Also, the Resonance Academy Delegate Program, created by Nassim Haramein and team. Hey, I like that. For outstanding, uplifting science discoveries, our website and Facebook pages: Pranic Consciousness Process, Embassy of Peace, Romania; Pranic Consciousness Summit, Pranic Festival in Romania; Soul Healing Holistic Therapy. Why do this? Because you might want to be a guardian at your mind's gate and not let in all the junk that's being fed out there. Selecting your sources of information is just like selecting your food, only it refers to the food for thought. Yes, you know, the things that are sold, the things that we bought, they actually become the food for our thoughts. Also, a quick final reference to this: I see many people trying to be pranic and still dwelling into the conspiracy theory mindset, the game of us and them, and a fear-based mindset that's not going to make anyone wiser or safer, but it's just keeping humanity in an orb of insecurity and separation. Right. Solution? Forget all about it and know that we are watched, protected, and in harmony. And whatever manifests is for the highest good, and it's a part of the awakening, cleansing, and polarity game. Another important step is choosing your opinions, the things you accept as true and possible, wisely. So choosing what you accept as true for you, right? Choosing it wisely, because it is becoming that way. What you choose and what you say. A statement is not a fact just because some authority, PhD guy, says so. Science has eons to align to reality from the divine perspective, and so far it's just capturing glimpses of what's possible. So from this perspective, an authority is one that has shown outstanding results, not just read books and did some calculus. So back to choosing what to believe in. We filter everything we hear with this statement. Is this belief making me limitless or limited? If the answer inclines to the second version, the statement is disregarded and canceled. We don't say that this is the best way to all, but to always analyze the facts and do your own research is wise before taking something as a fact. You can't pollute your mind with false but interesting ideas just for the sake of being smart, right? So we begin how we start, right? We are never apart, but realizing that nothing is fact, really researching that, doing your own research and searching within. That is a beautiful place to begin. Does it resonate within your being? Is this fact what you're seeing, right? And is this something that is limiting or something that is freeing? And allowing that to come more into being. A deeper, more subtle mind detox has to do with observing your mind tendencies. We all know how difficult it is sometimes to get a full picture of what's in your mind. They say it's hard to see the whole picture when we're stuck inside the frame, right? Sometimes it tends to run around like a herd of wild horses, and focus seems to be a difficult task. Images, fragments of the last hour conversation, a subtle mental talk with your best friend or lover, maybe even a mental fight with a Facebook message fellow. All that while you're trying to work or carefully drive your car. Well, that's a main issue on the Pranic path, as a cluttered mind is going to ask for a cluttered diet. Now you could think of diet as an acronym, D-I-E-T, do I eat that? Or D-I-E-T, did I eat that, right? And when we see that, constipation and inflammation could be from our own integration of information, right? Then whatever we are eating, whether fasting or fleeting, that is our diet. So a cluttered mind will ask for a cluttered diet. They say that a cluttered space is the evidence of a cluttered mind. That's usually at times what we will find. So start to clear up the mind, and usually a lot of things will clear up on their own. You will let it be known. The common mind has some habitual patterns that can be observed, and these have to do with overgeneralizing, blowing things out of proportions, taking things personally. That's a big one, right? One of the 4 agreements, shout out to Don Miguel Ruiz, right? Taking things personally. I think that's agreement number 2. Choosing the worst case scenario to imagine, and so on. These mental tendencies are a big mass influence, and so it takes awareness and determination to overcome them. Meditation helps a lot because it brings mind clarity and better focus while going along with your daily tasks. But it takes more than that for a good mental hygiene. Ancient sages always say never to leave your mind unattended. Never to give it space for an excessive fantasy and wandering around, as this is said to be a big waste of energy, but also a means of unconscious creation. So never leave your mind unattended. Stand guard at the gates of your mind, like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, right? You shall not pass. That's how you got to stand at the gates of your mind. You know, blocking what's trying to interrupt the divine, what's trying to disturb, what's trying to perturb you, what's trying to curb you. You know, don't let it curve you, but let it serve you. You know, don't let it swerve you. Don't let it unnerve you, right? Where the mind goes, chi will follow. An ancient Taoist proverb says, so there's a big waste of energy in having role plays in your mind and inventing situations that have no support base in reality, right? They don't even have a foundation. You know, I remember hearing maybe a quote, I think it was Mark Twain. He said something like, you know, I have suffered a great many consequences, or I've suffered a great many catastrophes. Most of them never happened. You know, think about that. I have suffered a great many catastrophes, many of which have never happened. It's because it was in the mind. You know, fear is in the mind. It's up here in the mind. It's thinking of something that hasn't even happened, right? The sages recommend using mantras every step of the way to fill your mind with an uplifting vibration, and also to cleanse the lower tendencies that it has learned, maybe for lifetimes. Japa yoga, the yoga of constantly repeating mantras, is a very efficient for those with a powerful but agitated mind. It helps tame it and give it the right direction, instead of leaving it wandering around like a herd of wild horses. So, you know, being able to use affirmations can be a wonderful way to put yourself in a better vibration, you know. I benefit by being breatharian. I'm a powerful pranic being. My inner light grows and it shows. I love feeling light and unburdened by food. I find it easy to live on prana, you know. The more I breathe, the less I need. It feels so good to live on energy. You know, sleeping less feels natural to me. I can go days without eating food. Pranic living gets easier and easier for me. I am nourished by other sources. Prana provides all my nutritional needs. I am sustained directly from source. My health and my wealth are constantly increasing. The longer I fast, the longer I last. I choose to fast. I choose a life of longevity. I'm prepared to reap the many benefits of fasting. I'm purging my body while fasting. I'm proud of the progress I make each day while fasting. I'm achieving the goals I set for myself while fasting. Fasting makes me a better version of myself. You know, like all these affirmations can raise your station, raise your vibration. When you make that proclamation, you allow for your own emancipation. That becomes its own kind of co-creation with consciousness. For we're doing the same thing all the time. But your words are weapons. So they can either free your mind or do the opposite. The choice is always ours, you know. How to use this practice? Choose your favorite mantra or affirmation or a set of them. Repeat them in your mind wherever you are, when you're driving, washing dishes, cleaning, walking, or whenever you don't have to literally use your mind for calculus or conversation. I've usually done this, you know, when I'm ever, you know, just riding somewhere or walking somewhere. you can fit it in whenever you get it in, right? In all other moments when you're on autopilot mode, the mind gets imprinted with external and subliminal messages or the ideas of others that get picked up from overall energy field. So that's a good thing to note. If we are not consciously programming our mind will be programmed for us. And it may be by someone else that we don't necessarily trust, right? What is not taken care of will continue to rust. So it might behoove us to trust in our own spoken word, letting your spoken word be the programming that is preferred, right? So the mind gets imprinted with external subliminal messages. Repeating a mantra is like choosing your own channel that you want to stay tuned to, instead of randomly listening to whatever is displayed at the TV. So just understand that if you're not taking or making the effort to program your own mind, trust and believe that it's being programmed by something else. Never tried that? Well, try it out and share some feedback. We need that. As a fifth, but not less important mental detox step, has to do with actually detoxing the second brain, the gut area, and digestive system. As many mental tendencies are actually coming from the toxins of the physical body. A good enema now and then, or a saltwater flush, plus daily cleansing your nose with sea salt water can work wonders with your work accuracy. Now, the only enemas and the only nose and nasal flushes that I've done is with my own water. So I use my own living water to do that. You don't have to do that, but she's recommending sea salt water for that. But the only ones that I've done and can be a testament to is the living water. So with Orin therapy. And it's pretty powerful, I'll say to you. And it's structured from you, by you, for you, right? It's made for you, for your own use. These are, again, ancient yogic recommendations, but they are highly applied today in modern holistic centers and even high-class clinics. And yes, you can try this at home, but only with the right tools and knowledge that you can find all over Google now. Also, the liver gallbladder detox that we were mentioning in the first paragraph is very effective on mind clarity, is very efficient on mind clarity as well. And last but not least, always question your mind. We know, to some of you, mind is one of the most reliable tools, but we're here to say, well, it's not. When not well guarded and consciously decorated, mind is just a deposit of programs, many of them borrowed from family, society, lifetimes of journeying, and so on, plus things you pick up energetically from the collective field or your dear ones, things that are as unauthentic and illusory as a breeze of wind, or even more so. So always question your mind, your belief systems and thinking patterns by asking yourself, why do I think so? And no matter how many arguments and facts your mind would bring you, if it doesn't feel right, just forget it. Remember, your intuition knows best, as it's connected to yourself. That's self with a capital S. These would be the first steps of a 3-part full detox for a deep, long-lasting, sustained pranic journey. We will continue with more in the next chapter as this book unfolds to us. Stay tuned. So that was the end of chapter 1. We've just completed the first section. Thank you so much for your divine reflection, for your cosmic connection. And we will see you again, my friend. And I trust that you realize that, once again, there is no end with this time that we spend. Let's meet back here again. Take care.